Alrighty, everyone, welcome back to another Wash and Talk. It's been a bit. Let me start off by saying that I do not finish washing the video on camera because my camera died. So simple as that. So my neighbor was coming in, and that's when I saw that the camera was in the way, and then I went to move it, and then the camera just died. So um, it is okay. Things don't always work out the way you want them, and it's all good. But this was the second car that I washed. Jackie was the first one, and so yeah. Hope you guys are doing well. It's been a bit since I've been on a wash and talk. My brother used the sedan for, I guess it was a month. I thought it was less than that, but he used it for a bit, and then I daily drove Jackie and the E30 on like once or twice a week. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just they got really really dirty. So you guys will get to see the wash and talk on Jackie, how the wheels, man, they were black. They were really really dirty. So a lot of dirt came out, and this one's as well, but obviously you can't really see it as much on as a white wheel. But man, I hope everyone's doing okay. At the time of this recording is Mother's Day, so shout out to anybody out there who does celebrate Mother's Day, or anybody who has their mom or doesn't have their mom. Still, big hug going your way. We're not big on celebrating Mother's Day, so we make the effort to ensure that we hang out. Like I'll go with my mom at least twice per month. So we have to make the time for those that we want to spend time with, because man, life moves too fast, man. And today we're here, today I'm here washing my car, and tomorrow we're gone. So make sure you try to make the best time and spend time with loved ones. That's my humble suggestion. But speaking of time, today I wanted to discuss immediate gratification. I know I've discussed this with you guys quite a bit, so many different times, and today I was having one of those moments where I was looking at Porsche videos, and I tell my wife, what if we do this and this, and I can get a Porsche and this, and she's like, yeah, that would be that could be an option. But I've been telling her for the past year a whole different direction, and so I'll share a little bit with you guys. My biggest goal at the moment is just to keep saving money, so either buy myself a house that it's in a specific location where I want to live, with obviously specific specifications, right? If that's not available, I'm okay with that. I wouldn't mind buying some type of rental property, so whether it's a multifamily, so here in the States, in Cali, multifamily, four bedrooms, or I guess four different units, and below is considered multifamily residential, and anything above four then becomes commercial. So obviously four or below. And I always talk to my buddy Mata. He lives in the San Bernardino area, and housing there is cheaper. Obviously you gotta deal with a little bit more harsh weather, so there's things that you have to account for, and demographics, like anywhere, you may encounter something that is a little bit more challenging, or when dealing with cities that you pay less, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the scarce mentality. So that was the two conversations I really wanted to have: immediate gratification and scarce mentality. How we're trying to avoid one, and kind of maneuver the second one. And so definitely we're trying to avoid immediate gratification. I think I've done a pretty good job on that. As you guys know, we could easily go get a car payment and get a newer car, but that's not in the plans. And I really legitimately enjoy driving these old buckets. I could not get this little thing to work. I think I needed more water. I wasn't getting enough air. But I legitimately enjoy driving these little buckets. I know that they're not super reliable. And so, like for instance, the 830, I need to replace rotors. I need to have the valve cover gasket. I need to replace that, and it's leaking from different places. So there's maintenance things. This is a 35 plus year old car, so it's bound to, you know, have issues. But um, at the end of the day, I really enjoy driving them, and that's why I'm, you know, trying to fix little things here and there, because I my plan is to keep as long as it's here. Um, Not having my own space definitely limits me from, I don't know, lowering and putting some wheels, and really that's all the car needs. Um, and so I think that's what I've been telling myself, like, hey, I'm enjoying the car for what it is, for how long it is. If you know, tomorrow somebody offers me the number that I want, um, sure, you know, let's move on from it. Not attach myself to any material things. And there's been two buyers who have been close to what I, you know, the number that I want. I may come down on the price a little bit, um, just to. But I was like, I don't know. The car's really is in really good shape, at least aesthetically, I would think. And the second one, the scarce mentality. And I think that scarce mentality goes hand to hand when it comes to just different things, like the buying the property thing. Like, you know, maybe I listened to a podcast called the Bigger Pockets podcast, and it's real estate driven, and they talk about, you know, when you're investing into real estate, there's pros and cons on going with the cheapest places, because, like I mentioned, you have to deal with demographics. You always want to try to go for like the nicer place, because I don't know how it is in other parts of the country or the world. Um, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but obviously I think we're in a very finicky financial situation, to say the least. Interest rates at 6.8, I think, for housing, and it's a challenging time. I think that no matter what the prices are now, in 30 years it won't matter. It's gonna go more. But for the time being, I do think that, you know, if I was to go purchase something at the moment, I'm cognitive that I am buying at the higher end of at least this cycle, right? Because it always goes in cycles. But um, the last time there was a bubble burst in the housing, it was 08, 09, and I was in high school, so I wasn't able to capitalize into that. And so now we're here, and I'm just like, okay, a little bit of, you know, FOMO, fear of missing out, a little bit of like kind of just getting frustrated with myself. And really it's all for good things. You know, we're good, like health wise, we're good, financially we're good, you know, in our relationship we're good, life is good. Life is giving us a lot of gifts, and so life is great from that sense. But at the same time, I think I'm also feeling stuck in the sense of like not knowing the direction that I want to continue with my personal life. And the reason why I'm really, I guess, a stickler for rental properties is because my ultimate goal, I always like to begin with the end in mind. It's a quote. I don't remember who said it, but I always, you know, kind of have that. Um, I like what I do right now. I'm also 31 years old. I don't know if I want to do that when I'm 51 or 61 right now. The way things are getting a little bit more pricey, people are having to work a little bit more, and it's just, you know, it's getting difficult to retire. So I can only imagine at my retirement age, and so I want to have options. I don't, as much as I could have the new car with the expensive wheels and things like that. I don't see myself spending on those things, because I really want to have options as an older individual. And I would love for, by the way, if anybody's wondering about the shirt, my buddy Adam sells those. It does say demon driven. I think it's more like the way somebody drives the car, not, you know, anything satanic or whatever. But I'll put his link on the description in case you guys are interested in some of his stuff. I really like the K series with the ITB. I just want to have options, man. I don't know about you guys. I don't know if there's any real estate investors out there that watch these videos, or you know, whoever feels comfortable. If you're in the 50s, 55, 60-year-old range, if you leave a comment and say, hey, what would, if my question to you is, if you could do something different, what would it be? You know, if you feel comfortable sharing, I think that would be great wisdom for not just me but anybody else who comes across those comments. And so for me, I think the biggest lessons that I've had, a few of you guys have followed my journey for the last 2, 3, 4 years, and I appreciate your support. And you guys have seen that I, I quit a job. Uh, man, now going on 3 years, crazy. And it, at the time, it was one of the scariest decisions, but I am to this day extremely grateful that I was able to do that. And not because it was the worst place in the world, or because I hated my job. I didn't like what who I was becoming. I was becoming negative, and I think the energy that I was around certain people, it wasn't a good thing. And now 3 years later, I like to think that we're in a much better situation. However, majority of the things haven't changed, right? I'm still washing my car from this little spot. Yes, I'm still getting some of my neighbors, a little bit of, you know, water on them. So I try to minimize that. So, um, so there's definitely a lot of things that I'm like, okay, things are constantly getting better. I'm just trying to be patient, but it becomes difficult when my routine's still the same. I still need to move the cars when there's a street sweeper. I still, uh, I haven't bought property, whether it's for me or for rentals. And so, I think that's my biggest concern. And to anybody out there, if you're listening to this and you're like, man, dude, it sounds like life is good. Honestly, it is. I don't want to sugarcoat. I don't want to pretend like I'm going through a rough time. I'm not. Like, life is good. I think I'm just having to practice a little bit more patience, and now take the first true step, which is, if I'm serious about a rental property or a housing on myself, is actually going and taking the first step. And we know what the first step is. But honestly, I was having this conversation with somebody that I work with. It's extremely difficult when you're the first in your family to do blank. For me, going to college was extremely difficult. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know financially how much, I was going to be on the hook for. Like, I just didn't know. I got through it. It was, pricey. I'm glad I didn't do the very extremely pricey option, but I got through it. The job that I do now, I'm the first one in my family to do anything similar to it. It was difficult. Now I'm still learning. I'm still making mistakes. I'm still trying to get better. Um, but it was difficult, right? And I didn't know how to get to a certain place. So it took more to get to the place where I'm at. Now, when it comes to purchasing something or building wealth, handling money, investing, like all of that, I'm just constantly just either on YouTube, reading books, talking to people, um, and it's difficult because I'm the first one. My wife and I are going to be the first ones. It's not whether if we're going to buy a home, it's just when. And obviously we're very picky. So that makes it very difficult. We don't really want to live just in any city. And so obviously there's no real houses out right now within our budget being posted, and people are like, why are we going to sell right now? Where are we going to move? Unless they're moving out of the state, they're not really going to, you know, put anything for sale. And I understand that. So part of it is that fear, that nervousness of like, damn, like, how does this work? What do we do? What do we don't do? But it's all exciting. I think it's extremely exciting. And so that's where I'm at right now. Just feeling a little stuck, but in a good way, definitely in a good way. It's not anything like I'm negative or I'm unhappy with. No, I'm just excited. I want to make sure that I think the fear, right? The fear of I want to make sure I make the right step. And we know that there's no such thing. Like, you have to go trial and error, and you have to execute, and you have to enjoy the process. And that's it. I have to enjoy the fact that, neighbors come in all the time, and I have to move the camera. I have to enjoy the fact that I can only wash the car at certain, times and days because the weather, as it gets sunny, it gets difficult to wash the car. So I need to enjoy all these moments right now. But it's kind of hard when I'm, going through it. But I know it's gonna work out, and I've gotten the huge support from all of you guys, and so that's why the channel has grown, and it has given me the ability to, you know, experience more. I've been able to go to different places to just record shows and events, and again, that's all from you guys, from the monetization and the views. And so definitely not trying to be this quote unquote YouTuber who starts spending left and right just to make it seem like life is, like, wow. No, I don't do that. I'm a very simplistic, strategic. Sometimes I think that I'm too strategic, that I'm too simplistic, but I guess it goes with my personality. Why not? There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, that's where we're at. We're trying to practice more, trying to get away from immediate gratification, and we're also trying to just take one day at a time. There's no real rush to feel like we have, we don't have enough. That scarce mentality, and that comes from just many years of, hearing things from family, like, what's the best bang for your buck, or how can we save money, or, there's tough times ahead, save money, like, yeah, it's difficult to kind of go away from that mentality. So yeah, I know I mumble a lot, like you guys know, but those were the two main topics that I've been working on myself, and I will continue to keep you guys updated to see how those things go, and just enjoying life, because I'm in a very good spot right now in life. So thank you guys so much for the love and the support. Catch you guys later.